Something really subtle is happening to humankind right now. For years, we've always been able to trust our judgment and act on instinct, but all of a sudden, artificial intelligence or AI has now started to make us second guess many of the decisions that we used to make all by ourselves. Some of the world's cleverest people are now actually starting to self-doubt themselves because of the power of AI and what that can do now in terms of our decision making. The big question is this a good thing? For me, I'm an eternal thinker in that this is only negative. Because for me, humankind, human connections, and human emotions are what sets us apart from anything else. Technology has always played an enabling part, but artificial intelligence is taking this one step further because it's now making humans feel like they're missing out or they're not as effective at what they used to be very good at and had great self-confidence in because they're able to use machines and do it more quickly. So the big question here is, how does AI actually fit within the human race? So for me, humans are able to make decisions, we're able to be flexible, we're able to go off gut instinct, we're able to read the room. We're also able to build connections with people. And this connection is not linked to data. These are gut feels, as we call them. But the algorithm, or AI again, as we call it, all is a source of data from some input. And the problem is that it's so clever, so well versed in articulating the way it presents information to people across all these different GPTs that people use, that we now take it as gospel. And what we previously used to do when we would put effort into things, we'd make mistakes. We would, have the blood, sweat and tears of the effort that went into something to make it a great finished product. We're now taking the easy option, not because we feel like it's the right thing to do, but because everybody else is doing it and we feel if we don't do it, we're going to fall behind. Now, what's not being talked about is how this is impacting society. Great leaders and great people became the people they are today because they went through sacrifice, they went through hardship, and they went through the whole experience of things being quite difficult to achieve. And AI just makes it feel like you can do anything within seconds now. And it is really creating a profound negative impact, not just in the world of work and business, but across friendships and family, because people are taking the easy route. They're not speaking about the hard truths that sometimes need to be surfaced to actually create the right impact and actually create the right thing to do and the moral thing to do and basically act with integrity. So what I really want to think about here in this channel is around how do we retain what the human connection and human mind was built to do, and how do we let that play within an artificial intelligence environment? The key way to do this is to have a definitive line between the two. Artificial intelligence should always be used to help you with productivity or time-saving tasks, or make you more effective, or in some cases act as an insurance premium for some of your thinking. Now, obviously we know AI is not mature enough yet to not come up with false positives or information that isn't actually real. Because going back to what I said before, all the information that AI has at the moment comes from somebody inputting it in the first place, but it's not checking the validity of that information. So the first thing we need to do is create that filter. And we need to remember that as leaders and as people, whether it's a father figure, a mother figure, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a boss at work, or whether you're a psychologist or a medical professional, you are trained, and what made you and all your peers and all of your predecessors very unique and very successful is that training was built on strong foundations of facts. Not only is the training and the content built on facts, the way you go about learning that content and the way that you remember that content and the way that you can practice that content in the real world was built on people making mistakes and then people self-learning. And that is something that AI cannot help you to do at this stage. So the idea of this is that what we really need to think about as a society is how do we retain that balance? Because, curiosity, creativity, that connection that you have with people and that sense of community will be the only moat that we have left in the years to come to separate us from all being the same. And if you think about all of the great relationships and all the great people you've met, colleagues, again, friends, partners, they come and they're memorable because they have something unique about them. And that uniqueness is sometimes imperfection. You don't always have to be right. It's the journey that you go on to get there. And it's that experience of what it's like to actually be on that journey as a human and share that with others that creates that sense of self-worth and that sense of belonging. And very carefully, you need to stop being in a position where you're using AI as the simple, easy option to stop you from actually experiencing life to the fullest and being the best version of yourself. We have a responsibility as a human race and as a society to make sure that we're implementing these ideas and these filters one by one. In the end, the real shift may be this. In a world where intelligence is abundant, maybe the best leaders are the ones that actually can tell the difference between where intelligence is needed and where actually a human touch is needed. Maybe acting slower rather than acting fast is the real formula for success in the future. And perhaps those that will be most successful are the ones that truly understand that they're not competing with the machines, but what they're competing with is what machines can't ever take part in the first place.